Hey everyone, and welcome! If you're running paid ads, you totally know the feeling. It's like you're just pouring money into a machine, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. Well, today, we are pulling back the curtain on the one thing that separates wild guessing from actual knowing: conversion tracking. Seriously, by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to turn that machine into a predictable, profit-making engine. Let's dive in. So, let's just start with the one question that I think every business owner has asked themselves at some point. You're spending all this money on ads, you see the clicks coming in, but are those clicks actually turning into customers? Or is that budget just vanishing into some kind of digital black hole? It's a huge fear, and for a lot of people, it's a very, very real problem. Because here's the stone-cold truth. Running ads without tracking is basically like flying a plane with a blindfold on. I mean, imagine you spend $1,000 and you get 2 sales. That's great, right? But without tracking, you have no idea if those sales came from ad A, which cost you maybe $50, or from ad B, which ate up the other $950. That massive knowledge gap leads to 2 things that no business can afford: a completely wasted budget and, honestly, just making the wrong decisions over and over again.
And that brings us right into our first section here, advertising blind. We're going to look at the seriously high cost of not knowing your numbers. And I don't just mean in wasted ad spend, but in all the opportunities you're missing out on.
But don't worry, there is a way to navigate out of the dark. And that's where we introduce what I like to call the tracking compass. You got to think of conversion tracking as the tool that finally gives your chaotic ad data a clear, reliable direction. It's your North Star. So what even is it? Let's break it down. In the simplest terms, conversion tracking is just a system that watches what people do on your website after they click your ad. It uses these tiny little snippets of code, you've probably heard them called pixels or tags, that you put on your site. And these little things act like tiny digital messengers, reporting back to you on all the important actions your users are taking.
Okay, so what does that data flow look like in the real world? Let's just walk through it real quick. So step 1, a user clicks your ad. Step 2, they land on your website. Step 3, they do something you want them to do, like fill out a form, and boom, that's the event trigger. Step 4, that little pixel sends the data straight back to the ad platform. And step 5, this is the magic part. The platform's algorithm uses that data to get smarter and go find more people who look just like your brand new customer.
And that brings up a really key point, right? This whole system is only as smart as what you tell it to look for. So what are these valuable actions, these so-called conversion events, that we should actually be paying attention to?
Well, for an e-commerce store, the holy grail is obviously a purchase, but even an add to cart is a fantastic signal. If you're a service business, maybe it's a lead form submission or someone making a booking. Heck, it could even be something as simple and powerful as a click on your WhatsApp button. These are the signals that tell the ad platform, hey, this ad is working, go find more people like this.
Okay, so now that we know what we should be tracking, let's get into the how. This brings us to section 3, building your blueprint. We're going to cover the absolute essentials for getting this system set up the right way. Look, a really solid, robust setup is built on 4 pillars. It all starts with the basic pixel installation. That's just table stakes. Then, you have to configure your specific events, telling that pixel exactly what to watch for. And this is crucial. You've got to track the revenue so you can actually calculate your return. And finally, for maximum accuracy in today's world, you're going to want to add something called server-side tracking.
And that brings up a super important distinction: browser versus server-side. So standard browser tracking, the pixel, can get tripped up by ad blockers or privacy updates. It's becoming less reliable. Server-side tracking, though, sends data directly from your server to the ad platform. It's way more accurate, way more reliable. Honestly, the best approach these days is usually a hybrid of both.
Unfortunately, this is where a lot of businesses make some really costly mistakes. A big one is they'll install the pixel and then just forget to set up any events. That's like installing a security camera but never plugging it in. Or they don't track revenue, so they have no idea if they're profitable. Or you get duplicate events firing, which messes up all your data. And maybe worst of all, they just never test it to see if it's even working right in the first place.
So why are we going through all this trouble? What's the big deal? Well, that brings us to the payoff. In our final section, we're going to see how getting this right doesn't just, tweak your results. It fundamentally changes the entire game.
The rewards here are absolutely huge. First off, the ad platform's algorithm gets smarter way faster. That directly leads to a lower cost for every single conversion you get. It also gives you the confidence to make better scaling decisions. You know exactly which campaigns to pour more fuel on.
And it all rolls up into the big one, a much more accurate return on ad spend.
I mean, this chart really says it all. Without tracking, the ad platform is just guessing. It's throwing spaghetti at the wall, and your costs are sky high. But with that accurate tracking data, the algorithm zooms in and efficiently finds your ideal customers, and your cost to get one of them just plummets. It's really that simple.
And this, right here, this is the ultimate metric. Accurate ROAS, your return on ad spend, means you can finally say with total confidence, for every single dollar I put into this campaign, I know I'm getting X dollars back. That clarity, that's what lets a business grow predictably, and more importantly, profitably.
So let's just stop thinking of tracking as some little technical chore you have to check off a list. It is not. It is your living, breathing business intelligence system. It's the engine that powers every single strategic decision you make in your marketing. So the real question isn't whether you can afford to set it up properly, it's can you really afford not to?